Namaskaram girls. Today in the economics class, we are going to study about the economics subdivisions. You have already learned the subject matters and then basic concepts of microeconomics. Today we are going to learn the subdivisions. Subdivision is nothing but the economic activities which are happening in the country. There are 4 subdivisions. First one is consumption. While we talk about the word consumption, we have to talk about the human beings, isn't it? Already we have studied human wants are unlimited, but the sources are limited. So, the human wants are satisfied by the economic activities and the wants comes under the consumption. And only because of the consumption, the economic activity starts. You have studied in the scope of macroeconomics, you studied, isn't it? Wants leads to efforts, efforts leads to production, production leads to distribution, distribution leads to income and other things we have studied. So, consumption is the first step which starts the economic activity. Only because of the consumption, the economic activity starts. So, consumption is the basic for economic activity. And we are studying about the human wants based on the behavior of consumers. So, in the consumption function, we studied about the human wants and their behavior. Because only on the behavior of the consumer, we can study the economics. And in the consumption function, we studied about law of diminishing marginal utility. This one already I have taught you. I don't know whether you remembered or. Law of diminishing marginal utility and also consumer surplus. These two we studied under the heading of consumption. Human wants is the basic for economic activity. Human wants leads to consumption. So, consumption leads to the production and other things. Under the consumption, we studied about the human wants and their behavior. We also studied about the law of diminishing marginal utility and the consumer surplus, which deals in this consumption function. Let me explain you what is law of marginal utility. Law of marginal utility. As I said already, if you go on consuming the same product, you feel bored. This I already explained you. For example, utility போடு. Give marginal utility போடு. You are taking one apple first. Number of apples. You are consuming the one apple. You will get 50% of utility. So here there is no marginal. What do you mean by marginal? Marginal means addition to the previous. That is called marginal. When you add one more thing, the difference between the previous and the consumption is called marginal. While if you want to calculate marginal utility, total utility minus total utility n minus 1. This is the formula for marginal utility, calculating the marginal utility. Here, first, there is no marginal. Second, you are consuming the second apple. You get 5. So, what is your marginal utility? You are getting, first time you are getting 30. Second, if you get 40, you will get. Third, if you get 50, you will get your marginal utility more. Fourth, you are getting the same. Fifth, it started diminishing. Isn't it? So, when the products has been increased, the marginal utility has been, first it initially increased, then it started decrease. At one point it will become 0. So when the marginal utility, when the total utility is high, the marginal utility is 0. When the total utility is high, the marginal utility is 0. So if you go on consuming the same product in a regular interval, in a same size, your utility will be decreased. This is called law of diminishing marginal utility. It started diminishing. First it rises. At one point it will become 0. Then it started into negative. So, this is marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility. So, this we studied under the consumption, under the behavior of the human being. If the human, they go on consuming the same product. So, we have some assumptions. If you want to calculate the law of diminishing marginal utility, we have some assumption. What are the assumptions? Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus. When other things are being equal. What is the meaning for this? Other things are being equal. This is the basic assumption for all the economic laws. What do you mean by this law, assumption? When the income, the taste, the preference, the price of the alternative goods is not changed. If you go on consuming the same product in the same interval, in the same size, your utility will be decrease. So this is Goshen's first law. This was found out by the economist Goshen. So it is called Goshen's first law. Law of diminishing marginal utility. Remember one thing, when the total utility is high, the marginal utility will be 0. This you should know. Do you understand, girls? What is utility? Utility means usefulness or the satisfaction we are getting from consuming the particular product is called utility. So if you go on consuming the same product continuously without gap, your usefulness, your satisfaction will start decreasing. That is law of diminishing marginal utility. Then what is consumer surplus? What is the meaning for surplus? Consumer surplus. What is the meaning for the word surplus? Excess. Addition or excess. What is consumer surplus? Just imagine that you are going for shopping for a Diwali purchase. You have planned to take dress materials for 2000 rupees. You have planned for a dress which cost, you assume that it may be cost rupees 2000 rupees. So you are going for shopping, you go to a textile showroom, you are purchasing the thing what you need. You assume that the dress cost maybe 2000 rupees. You are assuming. But while you are buying, the cost is rupees 1800. What is the cost you assumed? 2000. But you paid only 1800. So, this is your assumed cost. This is actual you have paid. So, this is the surplus. Consumer surplus. Do you understand what is consumer surplus? The difference between the assuming cost and the actual cost is called consumer surplus. வாங்கணும்னு நினைச்ச விலைக்கும் வாங்கின விலைக்கும் உண்டான டிஃபரன்ஸ் தான் கன்சியூமர் சர்ப்ளஸ். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் எதில் வரும் அப்படின்னா we studied under the heading of consumption. Do you understand, girls? So this is assumed price. Assumed price minus actual price. It's called consumer surplus. Do you understand, girls, what is consumer surplus? So these are the things we studied under the consumption headings. And the next one, we are going to study about production. If you talk about the word production, there should be input which is equal to output. If you talk about the input, we have to study about the factor of productions. What are all the factor of production? You have already studied, I think so, land, labor, capital, organization or entrepreneur. These four are called the factor of production. So, we are using these inputs to get the output, that is the production. So, under the heading of production, we studied all about the factor of production. For land, we have to give rent. For labor, we have to give wage. For capital, we will get interest. The organization or the entrepreneur will get profit. So, under the heading production, we studied about the input. What are all the inputs? What would be the output? Under the heading of input, we will study all about the factor of production, that is land, labor, capital and organization. And then, exchange. The third topic is exchange. You have produced goods, but you didn't take to the market. How will you get profit? It is not possible, isn't it? The things which are produced should be sold in the market, should be given into the hands of consumers. Without the exchange activity, the economies cannot move, isn't it? So, the exchange is concerned with the price determination in different market forms. So, in the study of exchange, we studied about the market structure and also the price, how the price is determined in the market. And we also studied the trade and commerce, barter system and other things we studied here. And consumption is possible only if the produced commodity is placed in the hands of consumer. As I said already, if you have produced goods, it has to be go to the market. It has to be sent to the consumers. Only then they can earn money. So under the heading of exchange, we studied about the markets and how the price are determined in the market. And the last topic, distribution. Under the heading of distribution, we studied the coordination of the factor of production. Already I said, isn't it? The coordination of the factor of production. What are all the factor of production? 4 we studied. What are they? Have you remembered? Factor of production. I only told. Land, labor, capital and organization. So under the distribution, we studied how the resources are allocated. How they are dividing the resources to these factor of production, and how the produced wealth has been distributed in the factors. And for the reward for the factors, as I said, what are all the reward? For land we get rent, labor wage, that also we studied here. The production we studied the factor of production, and the distribution we studied the reward for the factor of production. So it studies about the pricing of the factor of production. What are the prices given to the factors? That we study under the heading of distribution. Do you understand, girls? So these are the 4 subdivisions we studied in economics division. What are they? First one, consumption. We studied the human wants and behavior, I told. And 2 laws we studied. Law of diminishing marginal utility and also consumer surplus. And production we studied about the input and the output and also the factors. And exchange we studied about the market and the pricing factors. And in the distribution we studied about the factor of production and how the prices are given to the factor of production, like rent, wage, interest and profit. So all these things we studied under this subdivision of economics. And we are going to study next one is economics and its types. What are the types of economics? This also I taught you already. Everything I have given you in the first class itself. Because as it is the introduction to economics, we should know. Economics have 2 types, I already told you. One is micro, the another one is macro. Have you remembered, girls? What do you mean by micro? Micro means small. Macro means large. So micro is study about the individual firms, single firms and other things. On the other hand, it study about the aggregates such as national income, unemployment, poverty, unemployment, and all these things we studied in macro. As I told already, these 2 words were coined by Ragnar Frisch. Ragnar Frisch in the year 1933. Isn't it? These are the words derived from the Greek word micros and macros. These derived from the Greek word. Have you remembered, girls? All these things I have taught you in the first class itself. So economics and its types we studied about these things. Micro is studied about individual in single firms and the small things. Macro we studied in the aggregates, total, large in the national level. And it is called price theory because we studied about value of the price and other things. This is called income theory. These are not given in your book, just take down as a notes. The microeconomics is called price theory because we have studied the value theory or the product pricing and the factor pricing, and it studied about economic welfare also. And the macroeconomics is also called income theory. So these 2 words used by the Ragnar Frisch in 1933. In the macroeconomics was mainly used by J.M. Keynes, who was considered as the father of modern economics. In his book, General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, published in the year 1936. He introduced the macroeconomics. He was considered as father of modern economics. So these are the two types of economics, microeconomic and macroeconomic. With the help of this, you can differentiate what is micro, what is macro. From this itself, you can say what is micro. It is a branch of economics. It deals only with the individual economic agents, isn't it? Individual, such as producer and consumers. So it talks about individual. On the other hand, macro talks about aggregate level, that is in the total level. And it takes account the small companies, isn't that? I already told you, single firms. So small company. It takes the coordination of economy as a whole. And the price determination in case of individual products and factor of products. Because it is called price theory, so factor pricing and the value of product pricing will be completed in the microeconomics. So it talks about the general price level in the economy. It is known as price theory, it is known as income theory. So it has the optimization of goals, individual consumers and producers. It is with the whole economy. So these are the difference they have given in your book. Just to go through it, you can understand easily. If you listen the video, it will be easy for you to follow this. So these are the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So till now we have studied the divisions of divisions of economics and types of economics. And the next one we are going to study about what are all there in economics. Under the types, till we are going to study what are the other things are there in economics.